Hello and welcome to the Red Button Marketing Training Podcast. This is Button Banter. We're going to be having amazing conversations with people in the region who are in marketing roles and running businesses. We're going to be talking more about their marketing journey, experiences, and thoughts and feelings around what marketing is and how it features in their business. So stay tuned and enjoy the podcast. This is Button Banter. Welcome to this episode of Button Banter. And in the studio today, we thought, no, we're not going to have one person. We're going to have two. We've done it. Okay. We've got two people with me today and I'm very excited about this. So joining me today on Button Banter is Rachel and Laura from an absolutely incredible business in Darlington. They are from First for Fostering. So we're going to have a really interesting conversation today. So good afternoon, Rachel.
Hello there.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming along.
You're very welcome.
The sound of Button Banter, that appeals, huh?
It really does. A little bit nervous.
I'm not sure what is this banter thing.
Not sure what I'm going to be saying, but yeah, it sounds really interesting.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Absolutely. And Laura, welcome to this session. Good to see you. So Rachel, tell me a bit about First for Fostering. How long have you been going?
So we formed about 4 years ago, and obviously we hit COVID, so it was a slow start, and we've been now functional for about 2 years, and we've been through Ofsted. We've got a staff team together. So yeah, it's been a slow progress.
Yes,
but we are here. We are a new fostering agency in Darlington.
I think that's an outstanding job. I mean, I'm saying job. This is just. It's more than a job. It's more than a business. I mean, this is an incredible thing that you're doing.
Really
Has it been a lifelong passion of yours because it's your business, is that right?
It is my business. Yeah. It has been a passion, children and young people. I've always been in helping roles. So I started as in counselling, psychology and counselling. And then I was in mental health services as manager. I was a senior manager of children's services. And then I went into commissioning, which was always I always thought that was where I wanted to be. Got there and, sometimes things aren't what you perceive, and I wasn't doing the hands-on as much. So I then had my little girl, so I had some time out, and that gave me a chance to refocus. And when I've gone back into the workplace, I've come back in with my own company. So
that's fabulous.
Yeah, it's a big step.
Yeah, big step. And fostering, I mean, that's such a, I don't even know if the word worthwhile is enough, because when you sort of are trying to find that right word to sum up really quite what that is all about, it's an incredible
it is
thing that you're doing there. It's amazing
to be involved in something that hopefully will make a difference to children's lives. It's unimaginable how many children are in the care system, and we can only scratch the surface, but it's really important it's really nice to be involved in something that's so worthwhile.
It's changing lives, isn't it, really? And like you say, scratching the surface, but to be fair, the more people that can do that, it's coming together, isn't it? And everyone getting involved, really. Because in the world of fostering, there's so many different parts that people can play, I guess, in that, really, isn't there? I mean, we're lucky we're joined by Laura today, who is a social worker and foster carer. So a few more hats as well going on there. But I want to you said about perception. I think that's a very interesting thing, is that perception around fostering.
I think there's so many, myself and Laura were talking about this today, there's so many myths about fostering. And one of the things that we try to do is break down and do that myth busting, because people have preconceptions of what fostering is, and actually when they're kind of phone up or contact us and have a chat about it, it is actually breaking down those myths.
Exactly.
For example, people sometimes are not sure whether they can have a dog and foster. Yes, you can. Can I drive? Do I have to drive to be a foster carer? Well, it helps, but it's not a necessity if you have alternative ways of moving about. You can't actually just say, well, no, you can't foster because you haven't got a car. So there's it's about getting those messages out there, because people actually may foster who thought they couldn't.
Exactly. I think that must be a thing. Actually, just come on to you, Laura, because I think we've talked about that while we were waiting to come into this amazing studio, by the way, where we are. But you were saying about that, and there's different routes in, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Because maybe I would think, does it mean a commitment for however long? Is that something that could scare people, or, is that what puts them off? However, what do you think? Are there many routes in you could try?
Yeah, and also there's different aspects of fostering. You can foster short term as well as long term. A lot of people think it's a long term commitment. You can do respite, you can do emergency. So there's lots of different ways you can try before you give yourself to a long term foster placement. You might want to come in and just try respite. Just giving somebody a break for a while, keeping placements together, keeping placement stable, and giving other foster carers a break.
I think that's a good point, isn't it, as well? It's like you say, building up that network of foster carers and then everyone working together. So it's like everyone scratching the surface, really. The more we can have involved, it's not about having a small number of foster carers doing long term, all of them. No. If we can have that, build up that bank, really. How, just, on the subject of like training, what's the kind of period of time it takes to get everything organised to become a foster carer? I know we've said about this before, about you've got, there are some boxes ticking away and forms and compliance, obviously, the legislative stuff. What do you reckon from sort of 0 to what months kind of thing?
So we do say that it's generally between 4 to 6 months that it takes to go through the process, and that can be about people's availability. It can be about you obviously have to go through sessions with a social worker, and you have to unpick life experiences and things that form part of an assessment. But generally we say between 4 and 6 months.
It's not like long in some ways, isn't it? It's shorter than a football season, I'm sure, something like that, isn't it?
And I think it's long enough to kind of unpick how people are going to cope in a fostering role, because obviously we do get a lot of new foster carers, and it's the first time to it, so it's exploring how would you cope with this, and how would you manage this, and have you thought about your home life at the moment, how would a child fit into that, what are your social networks like, who will you have as your support network around you, because obviously it is a huge commitment, and it is a life change, but obviously the social workers are really good at the jobs. They know what kind of questions to ask and what needs to form part of that assessment. So actually it's a journey that hopefully by the end of it the person will feel more confident and kind of really be fully committed.
Do you know, I think it sounds great. Actually, there's a lot of people out there that have probably got they're really lovely people, lovely homes, and could offer so much, but like you say, it's just that perception of knowing what it is they've got to bring. But really it's like that stability and that ability to like change that life. But actually for a moment it's going to be life changing, isn't it, for the actual child? But what a great feeling to give another person the feeling that they've achieved that. So there's a sense of achievement for the foster carer as well. I mean, it's twofold, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and I think there's the myths around, will I just be, will a child one day turn up on my doorstep and I'm just expected to cope? It isn't like that. You learn about the role of the foster carer. You learn about the role of the social worker around with the child. And you learn about, that obviously we have a team of people that are around you for the foster carer to help you succeed. So there's a huge form of support around that, and training as well. They're given training on, there might be things that they flag that actually I don't feel quite confident with this. There might be areas that there needs development, and that they get that training as well.
You see, even just in this conversation, I've learned so much more around, like you say, the support that there is, the training, that ongoing. You're not just someone rock up and go, here's a child, see you later, and it's just not like that at all. And I think that must send out a really great message to people who are potentially thinking about it, or maybe haven't necessarily thought about it, but maybe this conversation could spark that that interest with other people and think, well, actually, that's something I could do. Because I think it is a lovely way of learning new skills and learning and development for the carer.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's, people look at different, people think about careers. I mean, I'm not using the word career necessarily in that same vein, but people think about changing direction in life. And you mentioned COVID, I think on the back of that, so many people had thoughts around, I'm going to make changes in my life. Now's the time. You know, I think we all kind of maybe had those moments.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, January is one of those times. Where you kind
here we are.
Here's a new year.
A new year.
What do I want? And you do find our inquiries do go up in January because people are making New Year's resolutions. You know, I want to put myself first. And we have different, you know, types of foster carers. We have people that have maybe, you know, they've had grown up children, they've gone off to university and the home feels empty and they're like, right, you know, this is time for me to help another child, you know. We do get the empty nest kind of situation. We also have same-sex couples as well, you know, which is brilliant. You know, we have people who are single, and we've even recently had people who are maybe a bit older and feel like actually I've still got something to give. So what the thing with fostering is anyone can do it. Our target audience isn't, you know, a certain type of person. It can be anyone. It can be anyone doing any kind of work. It can be somebody who's at home. You know, it's our catchment is so
broad, isn't it? And actually, what a nice segue there, Rachel. You did that without any kind of prompting from me. You took us there.
I did. I knew what was coming.
You knew where we were going. We got there. You did it. Well done. Target audience. That lends me to think now, okay, so this is Banter, as you know, and we also weave into this that whole word of marketing, you know. I mean, you put marketing and fostering, you know, what are we talk about perceptions. What do you think marketing is? What does it mean to you in your business?
It's huge in our business. You know, it's every day. I think we've had the conversation before when I've been to networking events. You know, I'm quite passionate about it. I think, you know, we base our assessments, you know, on trying to engage with the public. And like I said, there's such a large audience. So, you know, it's about social media. It's about I think I've spoken before about it being in staff. I'm quite passionate about the staff that we have at our organisation. You know, you want family friendly people working for our organisation. So I feel that a lot of it is the people that I employ, they go out there, people meet them and actually want to foster with us. So it's not just your social media, it's the people that work for you as well, word of mouth.
Absolutely. Isn't it just about that? And I think, you know, we talk around brand and these words that are used in that whole marketing sort of arena. Really, that it's kind of got a slightly different vibe in some ways though for yourselves, I guess. But I'm just thinking that the nature of what you're doing, you know, and that life-changing kind of experience, but that brand is so important, like you say, your team as well. You know, Laura, just a quick question to you. Would you sort of agree with that and say that you really you're on point with where First for Fostering are going as a business and you want to kind of take that out there and through your communications, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I've been following the progress for a good year now and I've seen how far it's coming, and just that families first kind of vibe to it. It's really important. And if you're not looking after your own family, how can you look after other families? And it's really it's a good connective team.
Interesting you said though there, like you say about following it. I think that's a really key thing as well for you guys, because probably people are like, I might do fostering. It's good if they can like keep an eye on where the business is doing, what's happening, what the message is, and it's kind of continue to build that trust, isn't it? You know, as well also, and build that feeling like I actually will get in touch because I might be able to give back and I might be able to support a child, and I do feel like I want to know more, because it's that move, isn't it, from oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
Do you know and it's what was lovely about Laura joining the organisation was she actually followed us on social media, and one of the things I said to Laura when I spoke to her is I feel like I know you already, because we've had a connection for quite a long time. So when Laura popped up on my social media, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, that's somebody who's been following us for a while, so I already felt like I knew Laura, which is really nice.
And I think that's just a lovely way to kind of describe, one of the ways to describe what marketing is, but also, what it can do.
Yeah.
And it's about building those relationships, isn't it, really? Because whichever way we look at this as all kinds of relationships going on in your environment, in your community.
Yeah.
Carers, potential carers, social workers, children, families. It's a dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you're using different ways to get out there and share your stories and messages, that's great. That's getting people to get in contact.
Absolutely, because I think if your staff are passionate about what they do, it is, it does kind of project out into when, they're going and doing visits and they're meeting people for the first time and seeing if people want to foster, the passion kind of translates. I think that's what's always been quite important to me, is getting, the organisation right, the setup right, having, looking after your staff and having, staff well-being, and then hopefully that projects into, into your marketing plan, and people are just kind of enthusiastic about what they do.
I just think it's absolutely fundamental. It all starts with mindset. There you go. That's my take of the day. It all starts with mindset as well. And absolutely people power. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, are you both local to Darlington?
Yes.
Kind of born and bred, as they say.
I am.
Yeah.
Darlington born and bred.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, you must, knowing the area as well is a great thing, isn't it?
It is. It is.
And a great place to do business.
It is, yeah. I work near to where I live. We are trying to raise a profile in Darlington a lot because we do cover the whole of the northeast.
Yeah.
And we do get a lot of inquiries from Durham, Newcastle, Gateshead, Middlesbrough. But Darlington, we're really trying to build the profile in Darlington because it would be nice to have more carers on our doorstep as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Darlington's getting more and more, it's already on the map, but it's getting even more on the map as well. All kinds of people are flocking here. So, that's good stuff.
It is.
So I think we're doing a big shout out to say, marketing as a word, we've decided absolutely fundamental, and certainly within your business and in fostering, it's all kinds of different relationships, but let's power them up and, like you say, share that passion and those amazing stories of where you change lives. I mean, I have to say, on this one, I'm completely humbled by the work you do, because it is, when we say life-changing, we kind of really, really mean it.
Yeah.
So for anybody listening to this podcast and they're thinking, might be keen, then follow this company or get in touch. And it's First for Fostering in Darlington, who are doing incredible stuff for families and children and reshaping the future. So we are absolutely delighted that you came along to have a little bit of banter with us around marketing. But I'm pleased we've had the time actually to hear more actually about what you're doing, because that I think is incredible and something that I really hope continues to go from strength to strength. So
thank you.
So thank you so much to Rachel and Laura from First for Fostering to come along, and keep listening out for more Button Banter. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye. Thank you for joining us today on the Red Button Marketing Training Podcast. You have been listening to Button Banter. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for more news and the next episode coming very soon.